I bought a little more natural gas today. Natural gas at one point was down to $3.01 a cubic foot. As of 2:29 in the afternoon, up to $3.03 per cubic foot. Now, I only used about 1/2 of 1% of my available cash to buy in on some additional shares, because now I only have about 1/2 of 1% of my cash sitting on the sideline for another potential purchase before about 5% of my total cash, my total allocation towards being long natural gas, has been made. Now, I don't tell you exactly how I buy it, natural gas, because the state of Florida calls that results-based advertising. If you want to know exactly how I did it, click the little red email icon in my bio. So I have a tiny bit of cash that I still could put to work buying more natural gas should prices come down further, because, again, as of about 2:29, making an unconfirmed breakdown below $3.07 a cubic foot. If we can confirm the breakdown today at the close and close, not that I really wanted to, but close meaningfully lower on Monday, that would confirm the breakdown. If that happens, natural gas could fall to $2.84 a cubic foot. So let's see what happens. But I added to my natural gas position today, and of course let my members know as soon as I did it. As of 2:39 this afternoon, I still own all of my gold. Possibly by 4 o'clock, though, I may unwind half of my long position and would be happy to do it. At least as of 2:39, gold not confirming the breakout higher above $3,452 an ounce. Some news that came out around 2 o'clock this afternoon was the Trump administration said they wanted to clarify their gold tariff comments. Now, why they just can't get it right the first time, I don't know. But in my opinion, that is what sent gold lower today. So let's see what happens. Again, if you want to know if I did unwind any of my long gold position, click that little red email icon in my bio. The S&P 500 as of 2:48 this afternoon, not quite at brand new all-time highs, but the NASDAQ 100, the NASDAQ Composite were making brand new all-time highs. So we still have a confirmed breakout here on the SPX above 6,259. I get it. I missed out this week. I sold my long positions on Friday. We've gone over that on Friday and earlier in the week. And I redid all of my research last night. Sent a big video with all my new research to my members this morning. Part of that said that the underlying medium-term emotions in the stock market were pretty much hanging around neutrality, yellow. And that in the short term, we were kind of between mild happiness and mild fear. And I was saying, hey, at this point in time, and the haters are going to love this, but I was saying, hey, at this point in time, the stock market could as easily head higher right now as it could head lower. Now, I get it, one day today necessarily doesn't make a trend, but potentially today, being up so nicely in the market, we may be seeing that next short-term trend. The next short-term trend could be higher. Let's see what happens on Monday. Some tariff news could come out about countries tomorrow and whatnot. See what happens on Monday. But if it looks like the trend is to continue higher here, yeah, it will not be a good buying opportunity, but I may be forced to do a little bit of nibbling and buy into this market. If I do, and that is a big if, but if I do, of course, I'll let my members know in real time. I'll let you know at 4 o'clock on Monday. If I do, though, I will need to watch the prices ridiculously close, because when I do not buy at a great price and get a great deal, if it does come down, I will need to get out at a second's notice. So let's see what happens. My short crude oil trade continues to generally work very well. Crude oil kind of bouncing around today, but pretty much flat, at least as of about 2:34 this afternoon. Depending on what happens by 4 o'clock, if oil does come up, and if oil were to make an unconfirmed breakout, if it were, it's not labeled that way, but if it does, above $64.42 a barrel, yes, I could unwind half of that crude oil short. Also, if the price action looks like it's going to close at $64.13 a barrel or higher, In my opinion, that would form a candlestick chart called a bottoming tail, which could be a signal that crude oil prices might be at about their lows and could start to head up from here. So again, as of 2:34, I still own all of my short crude oil positions. If you want to know by 4 o'clock if I unwound any of those, again, just reach out to me. The 10-year yield and the 20-year yield, not shown here, were higher on the day. This is beautiful because I am short my favorite bond fund. Higher yields, bond fund prices down. That's the way it works, inverse relationship. So we are still in this confirmed breakdown on the 10-year yield as of 2/24 between 4.32% and 4.20%. The next bullish thing I would want to see for yields, which would be the next bearish thing for bond funds, which I would like because I'm short those bond funds, would be first an unconfirmed, then a confirmed breakout above 4.32% on the 10-year. So a little bit of patience. Let's see what happens. I am only half in what could possibly be the total allocation for my short bond fund trade. In hindsight, I wound up getting in at a pretty darn good price. If the yields come down next week, I still have about half that possible allocation to allocate towards that. But if bond yields keep going up, therefore the bond funds keep going down, that's fine. I'll be happy with the money. This is not investment advice, and if you don't know me, I'm John Crocker, professional investor, proud American, cigar lover, and owner of Crocker Capital, LLC.